Hello guys. On Friday, Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, ChatGPT, so to say, was fired around 12:31 o'clock US time. So this was a very interesting and very surprising news that reached us on Saturday. Board of directors of OpenAI organization fired Sam Altman on the spot without giving any time or notice to him. So it is very interesting to understand what is exactly happening with OpenAI project, because OpenAI, as we say, is going to be the most important factor in our future life, because AI is expected to play a major role in what we do, how we work, how we lead our lives, how the society works, how the countries function, how the states function. So it is going to affect all of us in a very minute level, at a very minute level. Hence, it is important to understand what is exactly happening with OpenAI and Sam Altman, why he was fired within 3, 4, 5 minutes. So as we understand, we need to understand basically background of the organization. OpenAI was formed in 2015 as a non-profit organization, and the objective or the mission of the organization was building a safe and broadly beneficial. This is what the motto is: safe, broadly beneficial, humanity, non-profit. These 4 points are very critical. So when OpenAI, the organization, was formed in 2015, obviously to run an organization and to develop artificial intelligence products and services, and to do research and deep research, you need to spend some money. Obviously, investment is required. So the OpenAI was formed as a non-profit organization under Section 503C, as per US laws, and they were expecting to raise $1 billion through donations. Unfortunately, over a period of time, they could not get donations of this extent, $1 billion. They actually reached 130.5 million US dollars as a donation, and obviously it put pressure. It started putting pressure on the efforts that OpenAI as an organization was making in the area of development of safe and broadly beneficial artificial general intelligence. So what they thought is, after that, once they were facing money crunch, they thought of opening up for-profit organizations, a small for-profit organization that will be earning money, so that we can sustain, so that OpenAI as an organization can sustain and prosper. The only important thing here is they made sure that the for-profit organization profits were capped. I think it is 100x. So if you are investing X amount, you can only take 100x out while you are getting out of the organization as an investor. So this was also capped, though. So they knew that the profit that we're going to generate is not going to be more than 100x, and out of this 100x, only anything above 100x will be plowed back into the OpenAI parent organization, that will be used for benefits of humanity, in the form of developing and doing research on safe and broadly beneficial AGI, artificial general intelligence, that will be beneficial to humanity. So this was a thought process. Unfortunately, because of this pressure, market pressure and the finances, they had to start a for-profit organization, which was expected to sustain the business from finance perspective. Now it is important to understand the structure of the organization. What I'm discussing here is available on the website. So board of directors were ruling OpenAI Inc., that was a public charity organization formed in USA under Section 501c3. Okay, this was a OpenAI non-profit organization. Then there is OpenAI GP LLC, which is wholly owned and controlled by public charity. Okay, it is important to understand. And OpenAI GP LLC is the parent organization, which is taking care of day-to-day operations and vision and mission of the organization. It had holding company for OpenAI non-profit employees and investors, and then other investors. As we discussed, the for-profit organization is OpenAI Global LLC, a capped profit company, which is also supported by Microsoft as a minority owner. It's important to understand, out of all these organizations, OpenAI GP LLC through board of directors was controlling everything, owning and controlling everything that was happening in OpenAI as an organization. Now, the next point is, who were the board of directors? Board of directors were Greg Brockman, then Sam Altman, then there is Eli Sutskever, then there is Adam D'Angelo, Curo's founder, Tasha McCauley, and Helen Toner. Out of these, board of chairman and president is Greg Brockman, chief scientist is Eli Sutskever, CEO is Sam Altman, and non-employees, these people, these three gentlemen, one gentleman and two ladies, Adam D'Angelo, Tasha Macaulay, and Helen Toner, are non-employees. They are on the board of the organization. So it is important to understand on Friday 12/28, I believe, as per what Sam Altman has put in the public forum, he was messaged by one of the board of directors to join a Google Meet and I'm not sure whether it's called Microsoft Teams or Google, and the link was sent to him in 3 minutes, and Sam joined the call and he was fired on the spot. So Sam had absolutely no idea that he was going to get fired. His friend Greg Brockman, I'm saying friend because Greg also resigned after some time. Greg Brockman, the president and chairman of the board, also was not aware. Microsoft, who is a minority owner in the profit organization, also was not aware. And obviously industry was not at all aware of all this. The important point is, if board of directors, the board president and chairman is not available about what is happening, who is getting fired, then obviously there are questions that can be raised. Now, once Sam Altman was fired, even Greg Brockman, who was the president and chairman, was told to step down as a chairman and only work as president, because OpenAI needed president in the form of Greg Brockman. But obviously, Greg Brockman said, "I'm going to resign and I'm leaving." So he resigned from chairmanship and president both. So this is what happened on Friday. And board of directors released a press release around 5 o'clock or 5:30, stating that there were serious communication gaps between Sam Altman and board, because of which they were not able to formulate their vision, strategy, and they were not able to take decisions which are required for development of better AGI, safe and broadly beneficial AGI. So this was the press release that was given by board of directors. There are so many unanswered questions. Why basically we are discussing this is, artificial intelligence is going to affect our daily lives at a very minute level. As we grow, as we move ahead in our lives, the artificial intelligence, whether it is commercial or non-profit, depends. But it is going to affect how we live, how we work, how we travel, how we think, what we consume in the sense social media or whatever information, knowledge, etc. And it can have very wide-reaching ramifications and consequences of how AI is developed, whether it is safe, whether it is broadly beneficial, or whether it is taking care of only certain individuals or organizations that will be then making it a monopoly, and the whole world will be dancing to their tunes, so to say. So this is exactly why we're discussing this. The other point here is, as you know, I have written a book on office politics. So there were certain glaring, this is the books. There were certain glaring pointers that I could see in the event of Sam Altman as a CEO getting fired from his organization. It is same analogy with the Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple, but Steve Jobs was a owner and founder. As Sam Altman is not a founder; he was just a CEO. And his indirect interest in OpenAI, other than having not any shares or equity, his only interest was, I think, his very small investment in the Y Combinational Investment Fund that he made before joining OpenAI as a CEO. Before he became a full-time employee. Now it is interesting to understand all these people are coming together and working for the development of safe and broadly beneficial AGI, which is going to help humanity in a larger context. Now some aspects that needs to be evaluated or checked are following. See, in the industry, obviously it is a capitalist industry, and of any organization, the main objective is to earn money and profit so that investors, employees, and the clients get benefited. Especially investors and employees get paid very well. So investors will be looking for returns on their investment, and employees will be looking for the salaries that they will be putting against the effort that they're putting in the organization, in their work. So the conflict here is, I think, the biggest reasons, as I understand. Sam Altman was a very dynamic and a good leader who was the face of artificial intelligence industry across the globe, and he was doing a good job. I must say that. And but I think the conflict or the gaps begin when the safe and non-profit, broadly beneficial. These three words are very important. See, OpenAI always focused on safe, OpenAI always focused on non-profit, and OpenAI always focused on broadly beneficial. Now, Sam Altman as a CEO was very aggressive, and he was working very, very closely with the research and development team and industry to push OpenAI, the AGI, artificial general intelligence, in a better way. Now, obviously, Board of directors may have thought that the way Sam is working is not safe. The kind of products or services that he's developing or working on are not sufficiently safe. And whether Sam Altman was focused more on the profit aspect of the business, or he was that is two aspects. Whether Sam Altman was slightly lenient on the safe aspect of development of AGI, or whether Sam was slightly more tilted towards the profit aspect of the business of AGI and development. These are the two important factors. I think board of directors very clearly said that there were serious communications gaps. Sam was not giving the complete information, and they were not able to, and Sam was not giving the information on time, and because of which board of directors could not form their next agenda, mission statement, the strategy, etc. So this was the reason given. But is the conflict between the approach? Board of directors wanted safe and non-profit agenda, whereas Sam was tilting towards slightly safe and for-profit agenda. This may be the biggest cause of conflict between these two, the board of directors and Sam Altman. Obviously, board's chairman was with Greg, it seems to be, and Microsoft had no role to play here because they are not on the board and they had no say whatsoever in the parent organization's function. So, at least on the paper. So, it is important to understand whether the gap started between Sam's attitude towards safety and non-profit, for-profit approach, whereas board of directors wanted safety and non-profit approach. This is where I think everything started to fall apart. Then the speed at which Sam was working also was not appreciated by some of the board of directors. They said we need to go slow because this is beneficial for humanity and we don't have to rush through the things until unless they are safe. It is very crucial. I think this is where it started falling apart. From the workplace politics perspective, I think Sam Altman was proficient, or board of directors were extremely proficient in the industry of artificial intelligence, but both the parties failed on political intelligence aspect. Sam Altman could not manage their board of directors, and board of directors could not manage Sam Altman as a CEO. So political intelligence was certainly missing in this case. Now the reasons can be anything. The first reason we thought about the approach towards safe and non-profit. So the second aspect can be industrial. Basically, in an industry, if obviously every company is working for profit, money, and if non-profit is doing a better job than you at a lesser cost, obviously some people in the industry are going to be grumbling. They are not going to like the situation they are in, because in this case the objective is earning money. I'm not saying Google is trying to do this, but obviously there is a possibility that capitalist industry may have thrown a spanner in the cog of the Sam Altman's wheel or board of directors wheel, whatever. They may have influenced or inspired or motivated either Sam or board of directors to take these conflicting positions. It is quite possible these things happen in the industry. I'm not denying it, or neither I'm saying Google has done it, but it is quite possible that in any industry, if somebody is working at a later price, at a far lesser price and a better product, obviously other people will be joining together and they will try and finish the competition. It is quite possible. I'm not saying OpenAI is finished, but this is very common in the industry. The second point is Sam Altman. Now, from office politics or political intelligence perspective, these pointers are very important. Okay, these pointers are important because Sam Altman was the face of the organization, and he was representing OpenAI in the most of the places across the globe, and he was basically not only face of the OpenAI as a non-profit organization, but he was becoming a face of the artificial intelligence industry itself. And some people may like it, some people may not like it. The level of dislike can depend on how person perceives the other person. Here, perception and image also plays a very important role. Sam Altman must have or may have failed in creating a right image in front of the board of directors, or there can be some other issues. Sam Altman, I think, perception and image built outside the organization is very good, whereas in the organization, I'm not sure about the employees. Employees supported him, as we go by the open house call that happened after the press release on Friday, but he could not manage perception and image in front of the board of directors, and he was in minority, I believe, because Greg Brockman also was not aware that Sam Altman is getting fired, and after Sam Altman got fired, Greg Brockman also was told to step down as chairman and be only as a president because OpenAI needed him. but ultimately Greg Brockman also decided to leave. So I think these pointers, face of the, some people may like somebody to be face of the industry, face of the organization. Some people may not, and you never know whose mind snaps and how things can pan out. So the next point is never outshine your bosses. Now, obviously, as CEO, his CEO is reporting into board of directors. Now, because of the dynamic nature and the aggressive style of functioning from Sam Altman, people in the board may have thought that this gentleman, he's outshining us, and OpenAI is known only because of him, and we are not getting the exposure, so to say. I'm not sure how these remaining board of directors were or are, but this is quite possible. Chief scientist Elias Sutskever, non-employees Adam D'Angelo, who is a Cura's founder, Tasha McCauley and Helen Toner. So these four people were available, present in the call when Sam Altman was fired. Greg was not called. The chairman of the board chairman was not present in the meeting when CEO was getting fired. And then board of chairman also was fired and told to step down and be only president. This is quite interesting actually. So next point is external factors, as we discussed. Never outshine your bosses is important. External factors, as we discussed, internal competition. If somebody else was trying to become a CEO, as we know, only person who was aware of the firing before Friday on Thursday evening was Meera Murati, who was a CTO, OpenAI CTO from 2018. Now she was the only person informed about the transition of the leadership in advance. Other people are not aware. Even chairman was not available. Board chairman was not aware. Board chairman was not informed about it. So the external factors like competition trying to kill OpenAI, a non-profit organization. So if board of directors not budging, why not target Sam? If Sam is not budging, why not target board of directors? It is this is theory of attrition. One by one, you remove the influential and performing people from the organization. Obviously, the organization will cease to function properly. Serious communications gaps. This is highlighted by board of directors' press release on Friday evening, stating that Sam was not giving sufficient information. Sam was not giving information at the right time, and hence they were not able to form their opinions, judgments, and then decisions were getting delayed, or they were some decisions were delayed beyond time limits. So this is a serious communication gap started. It is interesting to understand who started these communication gaps. First of all, as we discussed, whether the approach was different. Board of directors wanted safe and broadly beneficial AGI, whereas non-profit was the major concern, one non-profit approach. And Sam wanted safe, slightly safe, but for profit, and he wanted to rule the artificial intelligence industry commercially and technically both. We are not sure that things will come very soon. Things will come out very soon. Then there is seething envy, anger, and discontent. When somebody is, this is extension of the point of never outshine the bosses, because people typically don't like aggressive and dynamic people, workers or colleagues. So that envy tends to seep in slowly and steadily. It builds over a period of time. Then the envy takes the nature of anger. People get angry at certain individual. And obviously this explodes one fine Friday, morning or afternoon, and then CEO gets fired. Next point is stubborn approach. We are not sure whether Sam Altman was informed about his digression from non-profit and safe approach, and whether board of directors had informed Sam Altman about his digression from safe and non-profit approach. Now, if this discussion happened, I'm not sure what the response from Sam was, whether he accepted the allegation or he defended himself. That is very important, because we are not sure who was stubborn, whether Sam Altman was stubborn in the approach he was taking, or the OpenAI board of directors were stubborn in the approach they were taking, or there was something else cooking. We are not sure. Then there is intolerance to differences. Obviously, Sam must have some different opinions. Board of directors may have some different opinions. The most important point from politically intelligent perspective is they should have sat together, and I'm not sure whether they sat together and informed Sam that we are not very comfortable with the approach you are taking, and then what the response from Sam was, whether there was any mutual discussion on these lines, because the way he was fired, Sam was fired within 3 minutes after sharing the meeting link and joining the link. We are not sure whether these pointers were discussed in advance with Sam Altman or not. So this intolerance to difference is also a major factor, because if once the trust between the individuals or the colleagues gets destroyed, then obviously communication is a serious problem. And building bridges is also next point, because Sam Altman, I'm sure he has built very fantastic bridges, some strong bridges in the industry. We are not sure about the bridges that he built inside his own organization, because as we see, out of the 6 board of directors, Greg Brookman was not invited for the meeting, and the remaining 4 fired the 5th board member, that is Sam Altman. So we are not sure whether he could manage his perception and image in front of this board members, and this is exactly maybe the reason why he may have failed in building bridges with the right people in the board. Important point is as per the reactions of the OpenAI employees in the open house that was conducted after the press release on Friday, employees defended basically Sam Altman, and they were questioning board of directors about how and why we were not informed about it, and what was wrong, and what will happen to us. So all these pointers show that Sam may have built good bridges internally also with the employees, but not with the people, with the board members, other than Greg. So next is workplace and life is not fair always. Obviously, we are not judge here. Sam may be wrong, may be right. Board of directors may be wrong, may be right. We are just trying to understand what may have happened, because artificial intelligence is going to affect all of us in a very, very major way in our lives, day-to-day lives, our families, our society, our state, our country, and Earth is the complete community, complete planet. So it is going to affect us, and that is exactly why we're discussing a very important incident or instance that has happened in the OpenAI industry. CEO getting fired. So it is interesting. The workplace and life is not fair always. So Sam, in my opinion, he may be brilliant in safe and broadly beneficial artificial intelligence, but he may have failed in political intelligence. Or board of directors may be good in artificial intelligence, but they also have failed in political intelligence. So the bottom line here is always watch your back, because it's jungle out there, and you never know what animal will attack you from what side, and you can be eaten alive, just like Sam Altman was on Friday afternoon. So I hope this helps us. OpenAI is certainly going to play a major role in our lives. I hope all these issues, Sam Altman, board of directors, conspiracy theories, espionage, etc., all this pans out well, and humanity, as OpenAI always says, we get to experience and use safe, broadly beneficial, and non-profit artificial general intelligence. Thank you very much.